Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode number 8 of the Vertical Talk with Taha and Jennifer. Today we have the king himself, Kasey Esser.
Let's go.
Hey.
Excited to be here.
Well, we're very excited to have you, and thank you so much for, coming on because we didn't think that we'd be able to bag you on that too this early in the show, so it means a lot to us.
No, I appreciate you supporting the vertical space and giving everyone a platform.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna dive right into it. Let's start from
Let's
the
go.
beginning. Let's start from the beginning. What drew you to vertical dramas, and how did you land your first role in verticals?
Yeah, I come from the fitness world. I moved to LA to open a personal training studio. So that was kind of my first career in life. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of my main role models. And when I was sort of envisioning my life as a whole, I was like, well, I want to have multiple, careers and do something, different every like 10 to 15 years. So in 2021, it was during the pandemic, the gym was mostly closed and I had some time to think and I was like, okay, like now or never case, we gotta go into acting. And so, on my birthday that year, went right into it, stopped coaching. The gym is still there, um, and still runs, but yeah, I went straight into class and just immersed myself. And that first career allowed me to do that and just like watch movies all day and just study and go to workshops. But I was like most actors in the sense that, I wasn't working. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
was auditioning and doing all these things, but nothing. And the agent and manager that I had at the time, they were super nice, but they were like, hey, we think you're really talented, but, this just isn't, happening with us. So, we're going to let you go. So the next day, that was, March of 2023, I went back on the casting sites and there was a listing for a mobisode called Faded to My Forbidden Alpha. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. This werewolves, like you don't really see that at that time. And so I submitted, didn't hear anything. And then a friend of mine from acting class was like, hey, I'm friends with this like producer from this like real short company, and they just made a post saying they're looking for this Alpha Alexander character and they can't find him, and they're like, they really need him. I think you'd be good for it. And I was like, oh, okay. I actually submitted for that, but didn't hear anything. But I'll message her. So I hit her up and I was like, hey, and she was like, hey, Kasey, we saw your resume. She didn't really say this explicitly, but she was like, we haven't seen your tape, but we'll go back and watch it right now. And I had it booked, that night, and the rest was history. We didn't know at the time, you know, what the industry was going to be, right? We were just happy to have a job. And then I couldn't have predicted anything about what is happening at the moment.
Yeah. It's crazy how far along verticals have come since those
Hmm.
early days. Now, did you have any sort of like performing background I mean, you said fitness, you were into fitness and stuff, but
Not
did you
really.
have any? No?
No. I did one talent show in high school. That was like a comedy
Yeah.
skit, and that was the extent of my performing. Some would say I
Uh-huh.
perform when I went out, and danced, but that was not really a performance that people were voluntarily subjected to.
Yeah. Okay.
Great stuff. With more than
Old
47 of
news.
them, which role has challenged you the most and why? Which is your favorite role and why? And which character is like your least favorite and why?
Oh, interesting. Challenging role. I don't know if a lot of people saw this one, but uh, a bird in the cage.
Oh.
Um, on Short Max, I wasn't a villain, but I wouldn't say I was a good guy,
Mm.
and that was a little challenging for me. In the same vein as like Goodbye My CEO, if you saw that one, I was pretty early on Real Short.
Mhm.
Um, that one, the director really pushed me, which I appreciated. So I would say Goodbye My CEO and A Bird in the Cage, just because the good guy male lead was very toxic. Um,
I call them jerks.
that works. And did you say favorite role as well?
Your favorite and your least favorite.
Yeah, favorite would be Mr. Vampire.
Okay.
Uh, we shot that in Kansas City, Missouri. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, so it
Hmm.
was fun to go back to my home state and work with a production company there that was so pumped to be doing verticals. And I just felt like Vampire was like right in my wheelhouse, and I just like was, just in the zone on that shoot, and people really liked it. So I loved that whole experience in that role. My least favorite, I would say, ooh, this just came out actually. Um,
Okay.
the last show that just came out, Never Let Me Go.
Okay.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
I was struggling with that one.
Yeah, I can see.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
No, absolutely
But
no. The themes in it, yeah, totally understandable.
I
yeah.
think
I don't
I
know. I mean, it was
did
it was
watch.
fun. It was
Uh-huh.
good, but I don't know. If I had to say, I mean, I've been grateful for all of them and had fun with all of them to some degree. But that one, for some reason, came to mind.
It's okay. You have 47 under your name, and you just rapped with Kira Wisely, so that's
Yes,
good.
yeah. That was a good one. I'm excited for people to see that one.
We're excited to see you two as a duo too.
Yeah, running it back for the fourth time.
Yep, with her.
Hmm. Her and Autumn are tied, I think.
Mm. Yeah, she's another good one. Your chemistry with Autumn Noel is good.
Yeah, yeah. I think Autumn I've worked with 4 times now as well.
Yeah.
I think you might have been Autumn's very first vertical with the faded
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
yeah, because when I was doing my research, I had because I know I had spoken to Autumn um a little bit ago, and I remember her mentioning the vertical with you, and that's why like I recognized that whenever I was doing my research, and I was like, wait a minute, that looks like that might be her very first vertical. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
that was all our first.
oh okay,
Without outing
okay.
anyone, who said that they weren't starstruck when they first saw Casey? There was someone who said
Oh
that,
no,
right?
I was seeing. No, yeah, this is awesome. We'll cut this out, but no, talking. I remember watching the interview with you and Autumn, and you had mentioned
Oh, it was
her
Autumn.
first reaction, and she kind of played it off like, "What? I don't
Oh yeah,
remember
yeah,
that."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
That was
she's a
funny.
good
yeah.
girl.
That
So.
yeah, yeah. We have a fun rapport.
Yeah. Um. So you're often called the vertical king. How does it feel to carry that kind of recognition and legend status in this genre or this vertical industry?
I mean, it's definitely flattering, man. I definitely wasn't prom king, or homecoming king, so I'll take the late
We'll
bloomer
take it.
on that one. Uh, no, I mean, for me, I just focus on the work. Like to me, that's all that matters. Like if I keep working, I keep giving my best, I treat people well on set, everything else, will take care of itself. Because if there's one thing I've learned from acting, it's everything is so subjective. Like this is not an objective industry where you achieve this, 100% will like you. You go this, more people like it's. Everyone has preferences and different things, and for me, I just immerse myself in the work, do the best that I can, and
Mhm.
have fun with it. And then whatever everything else is completely out of my control. But I'm glad that people you know recognize the work and how hard I am working, and that does mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Now, I know Taha said that he had never heard this phrase or this I guess this comparison, but someone had told me that you have been referred to as the Brad Pitt of Verticals. Have you heard
Yeah,
that?
I heard. Yeah, I have
The
never heard
Brad.
So
that.
the the Ankler, which is a Hollywood newsletter that really
Okay.
all the serious people in Hollywood read. They did a piece on microdramas, like a whole
Okay.
exclusive feature, and they referred to me as that. And then
Okay.
that became, and it was like the headline of my section of the article, and then it just kind of became a thing from there.
Kind of
um,
kicked off. Okay.
Well, if the
yeah,
Hollywood people are saying that, then it must be true.
it must be true. I guess. Yeah.
47 is a lot. Coming close to. Is 47 including the one you just wrapped with Kira, or that's just
Yes.
released? Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair.
So we're getting ready to do 48, 49, and then I'm sure I'll do one in September uh,
Yeah.
to round it out.
Okay.
Make sure number 50 is special.
Yeah. Someone said, you need to throw a party for that. And I was
You
like,
should.
you know what? Maybe I will.
Yeah, you should.
Maybe
Absolutely.
I will.
There
Absolutely.
you go. So, what is your approach to stepping into emotionally intense roles like Alpha Alexander, and where do you channel that energy from?
Hmm. With acting, I've learned that the more that you can draw, from yourself,
Hmm.
the easier things are. So, everyone has a different process, but for me, I just try to draw from experiences in my own life and how it can relate to, whatever the character is going through, and just put myself in that place. Um, which is why acting can be, you know, a ton of work, because to sometimes get yourself to a place where you are feeling that is not comfortable. And,
Mhm.
you know, that's why I have so much respect for anyone who acts. And now when I watch movies and TV shows, compared to when I was watching them before I was an actor, I now have such a greater appreciation when I see something on screen that I'm like, wow, whatever you're seeing, that's like the ninth time they did that. You know what I mean? Because we
Yeah.
do, even in vertical, we do at least 4 to 5 takes, with different coverages and different things. Sometimes, sound wasn't rolling or there was an airplane, you have to do it so many times. It's not just something that was off the cuff and then moving on. They really worked hard for that performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, Casey, many viewers say that they see parts of themselves in your characters. How do you process carrying that emotional weight from fans who connect so deeply towards your characters?
I mean, that's probably the biggest compliment someone could give, because as an actor, what you're doing is just representing you know a human being, and like what the human condition and what we go through. And if someone can see that in someone on screen and feel something, then we did our job as an actor. If I'm watching something and I feel emotionally connected to what I'm seeing on screen, then it worked. And if someone feels that when they watch me, then that's the biggest honor that I could have with what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is totally, because if someone can emotionally connect to the character, that means that you basically nailed the hammer, you nailed it, you know?
Yeah. And I find that, you know, when I'm really feeling it and in it, of
Hmm.
course, that's when it translates on screen. And that's what you can't really, in my opinion, fake.
No, you can't.
You know, if you're feeling connected to what you're watching on screen, that means that person was in it and giving you their all.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So have
And
you,
you hold, yeah, and you have like such a very one thing that I noticed when I started getting into like the vertical community is you have a very strong and loyal fan base. And, each vertical that you come out with, it seems like they really dive into different aspects of the vertical, which I think is pretty amazing. Just talking to different people.
Oh, it's everything. I mean, the audience is everything. I mean, that
Mhm.
is supporting the whole space.
Mhm.
It's that's a huge reason why I work as hard as I do in this space, because I know they're looking forward to the work, and I know that they're invested in it and that they're putting in their time and money, and I want to give them the best possible experience and make sure that I don't let them down and reward them for all the support that they've given me. But they're the ones who've changed my life. I mean, the work is great. Like, it's allowing me to eat and whatnot. But if it wasn't for the audience, you know, it wouldn't be nearly as strong or compelling. That's
Yeah.
why I've had the opportunities that I've had, because the people who are making these, and then now I'm, producing them, they see,
Mhm.
okay, if we bring Kasey into this, our stuff's going to get watched. And that's the whole point of, you know, going back to, if you cast Brad Pitt in a movie, you're going to get some money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of, you know, how people refer to, movie stars or actors or different things, and you see like the same five people, because the people putting the money into the project know and feel safe having them in it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, has there ever been a moment where it all felt like too much personally or professionally? And how did you bounce back from it?
I mean, probably, I mean, I would say, definitely, 2020 was a low point. um
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then even when I went into acting, that was a low point in 2021, because you know I had recently gone through a big change personally, and then professionally, we were still in the pandemic here in Los Angeles, and like things weren't totally stable. And then I announced that I was going into acting, and people, I think they thought I was insane, because I had this business, and it was my identity. I don't think anyone saw that coming. And you know, when you tell people you're going to go into acting, the natural response is, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Because there's a 99.9% chance you're going to
Yeah.
absolutely fail.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make any sense to people. And, you know, I actually do kind of thrive on that. But at the same time, that can be a lot to take when you don't have as many people in your corner, as you used to, because no matter how strong you may think you are, we all need people who believe in us. We need that. It can't just be us. And you know that was a time where it did feel like I was, putting it all on the line and going in a totally different direction, and felt a little bit in an abyss of sorts, starting from the bottom of something, going into acting class, with people, and starting over with my life, really.
Yeah.
And it was exciting, but it was also, you know, every month that went by when I wasn't showing any sort of result from what I was doing,
Mhm.
that can be a lot. It from 2021 until I really started getting in the verticals in 2023. I did a project every 3 months, and even that, I remember the first project I did, I got $75 for a 3-day shoot, and I got decapitated. And then the next one I did was a student film, and then the next one I did was a play. I did one play in 2022 and made $100 over a 9-week period. So
Gee.
Wow.
it's another respect point for actors and any crew member, by the way, as well, um, because you do it for the love of the game. Because
Mhm.
no matter if you end up succeeding, there is a point in the beginning where you are not. And that's true for 100% of people. And that takes balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't become Brad Pitt overnight, so definitely.
Yeah, right.
So, how do you balance everything? Going from like your personal life, you mentioned that your gym, just and including your massive social media following. Like I said, you've got one of the strongest fan bases out there. So, how do you just balance it all?
Yeah, good question. I sometimes ask myself self that on a daily basis. I don't think I am. um, I'm someone who, and someone pointed this out to me actually the other day, someone that I'm close with, because I was, kind of venting about, you know, I am trying to do all these things, but like some things are
Mm,
falling through the cracks, and I don't want them to fall through the cracks, but also and they were like, look, you're someone who, when you're focused on something, that's what gets focused on. And that's great because when you lock in on something, you make it happen.
Hmm.
But
yeah.
the flip side of being locked in on something so strongly is that the other things just don't get the focus.
Hmm.
So there's a superpower in being able to focus, but I do not have really the superpower of uh, and not I don't want to call it multitasking, but having myself spread out across a variety of things. So, with Essers, the gym, I am in the process of, you know, getting someone to take it over because the more my life goes in the direction that it's now going, I see that so clearly. And
Hmm.
even though I love Essers, it was my life to do what's best for the business.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you have to let it go.
Yeah.
And, in terms of social media and personal life and different things, that stuff is easy. I mean, I try to really keep a tight bubble of focus when it comes to that. Like I'll definitely watch TikTok for sure. But Instagram, I really attempt to limit myself because, and I didn't experience this as much in fitness, but with acting and entertainment, and when it becomes all about so many external factors, you can really get in your head um, with things. And again, as I alluded to earlier, I just try to focus on the work, promoting the work, and the occasional selfie and occasional impromptu video. But you're not going to see me doing the traditional influencing style, just because you know my vision is just a bit different in terms of how I want to manage all of that. So if someone is engaged with me, they're engaged with me for the work that I put out. um, and yeah, that's it. Whether or not that part of my life continues to grow is not as important to me as I want to continue to do quality projects and escalate in that realm.
Yeah.
Got it.
I guess it's all about prioritizing what exactly is most important and things like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, if I were someone who documented my life a little bit more, they would find that it's not as exciting as they may think, in terms of what I do when I'm not on set. Um,
yeah.
it would be a lot of me lying on the couch, going to the gym, uh, doing my sauna, and you know, reading.
I don't know. Some people might like that. I mean, they're getting behind the scenes. The
Hmm. True,
real Casey.
true.
The real life
Unknowable.
Um,
behind the king.
yeah.
Casey.
Got to keep some
Um,
mystery.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, so do you have any type of like routines or anything that help you stay grounded mentally and physically? Is there anything that you pretty much do to stay grounded?
I got to go to the gym. Like
Yeah.
that's we talk about that on set because obviously we do these 12-hour days, and
Hmm.
And they're like, okay, get some rest. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna head to the gym. And they're like, I don't know how you're wanting to be on your feet any longer. And I'm like, well, look, I mean, it's not something that I want to do. Uh, but I know if I do it, I will feel better. Like at this point in my life, it's more about the mental benefit than anything else.
Yeah.
Um, so if I can get to the gym 3 days a week, amazing. That's really, really important for me, and something that I make sure to structure whenever I travel for a shoot.
Hmm.
They either have to provide me with a gym membership or a gym in wherever I'm staying. And if I don't have that, I'm not my best self, if you will. um, so gym is
Right.
is big, and I also got to get my sleep. I'm not someone who can go to bed at 1 and wake up at 6. I need my at least seven
Hmm.
hours uh, to feel good. And other than that, I try to drink a gallon of water a day, to
Awesome.
just stay energized and whatnot. And then I also try to do the sauna before I go to bed, just to kind of like decompress, depending on what time I get home. So
Okay.
now that I'm not shooting at the moment, the last 2 nights I've gone in there before I've gone to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Casey, what personal changes has acting triggered in you that you never saw coming?
You definitely get deeper into yourself. You
Hmm.
know, I'm much more able to let myself be affected than I used to be.
Mhm.
When I was in my gym life, I was a terminator of sorts. Like there was just like it was fun, but I wasn't like no one was seeing like emotion from me in any real way.
Hmm.
And since I've gone into acting, you sort of have to open yourself up and
Yeah.
kind of open your heart up. And now I find myself, you know, watching a TikTok or watching a TV show and just like tearing up much more than I used to because all of these things are much more at the surface than they used to be. And that's a
Hmm.
healthy thing
Yeah, it
ultimately.
is.
But
Hmm.
I find myself being much more, I guess the general term would be sensitive, but just life affects me more in a good way. And I think my emotions are more on my sleeve than they used to be. So that would be the biggest change, for me.
Yeah. So, just diving into that a little and swerving, how do you deal with self-doubt, especially when the pressure is on from fans and the industry or even from yourself?
I mean, I'm I guess delusional by nature. So uh I think to go into acting and to do small business and different things, you have to be a little bit, you know, uh crazy. But I I will sometimes, I guess, feel self-doubt, but I that doesn't come into my mind as much. I mean, the things that maybe stress me are, I guess like the unknown and whatnot, but I I've always had a very strong belief in myself, and then I'll just find a way to figure it out.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, there are definitely times where I get nervous, and times when the stress can be a lot. But in my mind, because I have a certain vision, I have goals, and with kind of my belief system in my mind, my life is already written out for me. At this point, I'm just executing and following my heart, and I know when I do that, that there's really no room for self-doubt.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. Um, so one thing, and I do remember seeing this a while back, but um you met fans in the Philippines. What was that experience like? And
Yeah.
were there any memorable moments that stood out?
That whole
How
trip
was
was a memorable moment. That I mean, as soon as we landed, it was like being in an alternate reality. I mean,
really?
the enthusiasm for vertical dramas there is so, so strong. And, a friend of mine who's Filipina, I think it was the week before I had gone there, she was visiting her family. And she was like, I'm in this fish market. It's in the middle of nowhere. And there are three consecutive people watching you on their phones. And
Wow.
this is like this is the middle of nowhere Philippines. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, well, that's some validation for why I'm going, to do this and to give back to them.
Uh-huh.
And uh, it took me a second to get used to, in terms of like, because in Los Angeles, like I'm not recognizable, but there I definitely was.
Oh.
And like I got like uh and Holly, who's organizing Verticon, she was the one who produced
Mhm.
this trip for me.
Yeah.
And um, I was like, I really want to get a pedicure. And so we walk in, it's a dark room, and they just sit us down. I can tell the woman who's working on me like keeps looking up and like staring, but I wasn't really thinking anything of it. And then we came out to the lobby to pay, and it's bright. And she's looking at me and she was like, "Are you an actor?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm an actor." And she was looking at me more, and she was like, "Oh my God!" She was like, "I was watching you on my phone this morning." She just falls to the ground, and then we ended up getting photos and with the whole team that was there,
Oh.
and then the trip just kept building from that point, and uh, obviously meeting them at the meet and greet was super you know fun, because they were all so nice. And it wasn't a
Mhm.
situation of, oh my gosh, they're being disrespectful or being super crazy. They were all super respectful, super
Yeah.
nice. And it just, I can't wait to go back. I really can't. um it just I just felt on top of the world there in a good way.
Good.
Good stuff.
Um, so if you had the chance to collaborate or work with anyone, who would it be?
I mean, actor wise, I'd love to work with Mark Herman. I've seen several of his clips, and I think he's really great. And Dan Jongma in Australia, uh, he also seems really great, and I want to go to Australia. So hopefully someone can pair us together. Um, and I haven't had the chance to work with Grace Swanson yet. I'd love to work with her. We've talked about that for a long time, and um, yeah, there's so many now talented people in the space. I can't even keep up with them all. I used to feel like I knew everybody.
Mhm.
Um, and really in the past like 6 months, it's exploded to the point where people are referencing these people, and I'm like,
Who is that?
I I didn't know, one, I didn't know they were even shooting verticals in this country. Two, I didn't know, that they had their whole ecosystem of talent. And yeah, and which is great. I hope to continue to not be able to keep up with it. And and I've been fortunate now to have collaborated with so many of the best people in the space that I just hope I can continue working with more and more people like that again and again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, absolutely.
Well, you know, I run the Mark Herman fan page, so we
Oh,
could
nice.
try to get
Make
that
it
hooked up.
make it happen, Jennifer.
I know. So, um, but
If real
yeah,
shorts allows,
Yeah.
leave it at
yeah.
that. So, Kasey, when Kasey Esser is off the clock, where can we find him and what's his happy place?
Mm. Well, again, this is why documenting my life is not a priority for me. Is you would you would you would see me at the gym, you would see me eating my chicken at home, you would see me in the sauna, you would see me on the Stairmaster, you would see me uh, on the very rare occasion out in West Hollywood. Um, it's been a minute for that, but feel like I need to go back soon. And yeah, I wish I could say I had more of a personal life, but um, I'm just really locked in on what I'm doing right now, and so yeah, it would just be me on my couch, maybe
No, yeah, you gotta
getting a
relax.
pedicure. I need to get one of those in the next couple days. Um, I mean, I still love going to the movies. Actually, yeah, now that I have this week upcoming relatively off, I will actually do that. Um,
Perfect.
I am an I am an AMC A-list member. I gotta I gotta uphold my
Okay.
status,
Yeah, of
There
course.
you
and
go.
they just upped it to seeing four movies. You can see four movies a week.
Ooh.
So for like $20 a
Ooh.
month.
Okay.
Mm. That's
Okay.
actually not bad. That's really good. I think.
So yeah, I feel
Now,
like there's a lot of movies I gotta see. There's a lot of good stuff out right now.
Yeah, no,
now,
absolutely.
what's the last movie you watched in the theater?
Oh yeah, what was the last movie I watched in the theater? I
It's
Know
good.
What You Did Last Summer, part two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wait a
I
minute.
did that. Loved it. Loved it.
How long ago was that?
Okay.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, pretty recent.
Oh, okay. So the one with Madison Klein, is that
Yeah,
was she in
Mm-hmm.
the okay, okay. I know. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it was so fun, and they just didn't take it seriously at all, and I loved it.
Yeah. See, I remember the old school. I know what you did last summer, back when like
Oh
Sarah
yeah.
Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt and of
Well,
course
Freddie
Freddie Prinze
Prinze
Jr.
is in this
Yeah.
one,
Oh, is he? Okay.
so
Okay.
they actually brought everybody back to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them didn't make it.
Yeah,
So yeah, they
yeah.
yeah.
Didn't make the cut. So,
Um,
Casey, let's lighten up the mood a little. What's the
Let's do
weirdest DM you've ever received after a vertical dropped, or just weirdest DM in general?
it. uh, I mean, the one that always comes to mind, and this was a clue into maybe why when some people get, really, really big, they pull back
Mm-hmm.
from social a bit and different things is after it wasn't necessarily after a vertical came out, but this woman had messaged me and if someone, sends me a DM and has like specific compliments about a performance or a show or different things, I always make the effort to respond and,
yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
appreciate and thank them. Um, and this person did that and I said, thank you very much. And, typically in a scenario like that, that will be it, right? I won't, continue the conversation. At this point in time, this was like, you know, 8, 10 months ago, maybe more. And she had said one more thing, I had said one more thing, and then she had kept messaging and I wasn't responding. And, the messages kept escalating that, did I do something wrong? What happened? A little, inappropriate.
Uh-huh.
And so I just I again did not respond. And then a few days later, I get a message from a girl, and she's like, "Hey, my mom is not coming out of her room. She's really upset that you're not responding to her on Instagram." And it was her daughter, and she was like, "What you did was really messed up, and turns out you're not who we thought you were," and it was just crazy. And
Yeah.
that to me was a core memory of having boundaries and also
Yeah.
just understanding that sometimes the parasocial connection can be read into a little bit too much, and
Hmm.
that's why a lot of us have to keep certain boundaries, because they're all unfortunately just some who cross the line and end up ruining it for so many other people that had really good
Yeah.
intentions. And you know that one sticks out. I mean, of course, I get other weird ones, but that one to me is one that like stands out as like, whoa, that was like that was intense.
Wow. And I think, and I've mentioned this to others, like the vertical community, even though it seems like it's a big community, I mean, it is pretty small in the fact that, you know, a lot of times we can reach out to you guys and you guys respond, but then
Yep.
we don't see that side where there are those um, certain fans that kind of take it overboard and it kind of, so we don't ever see that side, but that's kind of interesting. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of in a weird
Yeah.
middle ground of, you know, you can still definitely reach us, but
Yeah.
also there will be a boundary there as well. So
There-
it's different.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
you have to have that boundary to stay sane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
So which of your characters would totally survive a zombie apocalypse, and which one do you think would actually wimp out immediately?
Yeah, good question. I I mean, I gotta go with Mr. Vampire. He's surviving a zombie apocalypse 100%.
Yeah.
Uh, he's just he doesn't care. Um,
Uh-huh.
who would not is, well, my character from this one that I just did with Kira, which you'll see, but for ones that are out, I would say Arthur from My $1 Billion Waiter. He's not
Uh,
making it.
okay.
And I only say that because that was more of a comedy. So with
Mhm.
him, he was just more like quirky and not the typical like, dominant CEO type. So he would get absolutely worked,
Gotcha.
just
Now,
destroyed.
yeah. Now, the one that you guys keep referring to, the one with Kira, is that the mermaid one, or is that
No, we
different?
actually just shot another one
they
last
just did
week.
another
Okay.
one. We just wrapped. Yeah,
Gosh. Okay. Okay.
she
Jennifer,
went
you're
live.
behind. You're
I
behind.
Yeah,
know.
you're behind, Jennifer. Keep up.
You
Apparently
gotta keep
so.
up. We
You
shoot
couldn't join
every
the
day.
live that you had with her because we were actually interviewing someone, so we missed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you must have
I
been with
got I
Mark.
got homework. I got homework to do this weekend.
Yes, you
Get
do.
caught up.
But that one's cool because
Okay.
we shot it horizontal and vertical. So
Ooh.
Oh.
they're hoping to get it distributed as both.
Hmm.
So that was an interesting shoot because the script was, it didn't have really any, you know, vertical type tropes. It was more of a grounded story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, curious what ends up happening with that, but I'll definitely post about it when it comes out.
Well, and going to, you speak of that, they just did the one with I guess it was Keeley, the one on Candy Jar where they filmed it vertical, but then they redid it and they shot it kind of like in movie style. So now you can find it
Hmm.
like on Roku. Um, so it kind of makes me wonder if maybe that's something that verticals are gonna kind of go towards, I guess, is to because not all of us watch things on our phones all the time. Like we'd like to watch them on the TV, obviously, and it would be nice to have them horizontal, I guess, in some ways. So, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it'll continue to
but
move in that direction a bit.
yeah,
It's hard to
yeah,
predict, but yes, it makes
hmm
sense to me if you are shooting a movie that's already going to be horizontal
Hmm.
with the way that the industry is going.
hmm
It makes sense to me to have a vertical cut of it. It's really just a difference in how you go about editing it
hmm
versus making a vertical that is then also horizontal. To me, it works better potentially the other way around. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's
absolutely.
all it's all pretty new still, so
Hmm.
um so what's a secret talent no one has seen from you on screen yet? You have any secret talents?
I'm really good with a label maker. So if I toured you through my place, you would see that everything is labeled. Not necessarily
Okay.
exterior, like behind me. I have
Uh-huh.
closets. There's not labels on the outside, but when you open it, there will be a label telling you what is inside. And that's true of every cabinet and drawer in my space, because if I wasn't acting or in fitness, I would be a home organizer. That would be
Mm,
my profession. And I really
Okay.
love that. If someone was like, "Hey, my house is a mess. Can you come in here and just help?" I would be there.
that is something
So
very
you
interesting.
Yeah, that would be my. So if all else fails, and people stop watching me, I will pivot into home organizing.
Mm,
okay, okay. See,
sounds
I
like
never would have guessed. You just seem like a very, very structured, you like things structured and set in its place.
It's the German in me. Uh,
ah, mm, mm, mm.
my last
Oh,
name is Esser, which means like eater or to eat in German.
In German,
oh,
yeah,
okay, okay.
perfect. So, if 18-year-old Casey could meet you now, what do you think he'd say?
You had a glow up. uh,
Yeah, I've seen those
uh,
pictures. A definite blow.
you added some muscle, dog.
Yeah,
um, you're not just head. um, I
and
don't
that
even know
long
how I was
hair.
walking around at that point in time, because I was the same height I was when I was like, as I am now, as I was when I was like 16, 17, but I was like 150 pounds. So it was really all head. And, I'm sure if people were videoing me walking at that point in time, I would have been tilted one way or the other, trying to balance. But yeah, he would be pumped that the vision that I had then is happening.
Mm,
Like,
hmm
because the vision that I had for my life when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, it's what you're seeing right now.
mm.
Start with fitness, then go into acting, and we'll figure it all out. And I'm glad that and proud that I have stay true. Like that vision has not
hmm
changed or been given up on.
Awesome, good stuff. So, finally, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind for your kids, and what's one thing you hope that they take from you?
I want them to feel like they can do whatever they want with their life. That was something that, you know, or something that has been my main happiness point, is going after the, dreams that I have in my heart. So whatever they have in their heart, I would just want them to go after. And, it's about dreaming big and then focusing small and then
Hmm.
just moving forward. And, I would just want them to go after whatever they want and to feel like they could, you know, do that, and hopefully use me as an example for, what can happen with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. Role model, father, it does combine into it. And yeah, I'm, I'm glad well, I hope you're being a great dad to them. I know they're up in Ohio and everything.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, amazing. Good stuff.
Um, so one other question before we get into the two truths and a lie. Um, so do you think that you'll just focus on verticals, or when can we expect to see you on the big screen in our theaters, our movie theaters?
Yeah.
Horizontal.
I mean, it's coming. I mean, at the same time, I had a certain vision for the way that my acting career would go. And then the vertical, did change that. And also the industry has
Mhm.
changed tremendously since I went into it in 2021
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
such a short amount of time. So for me, the benefit is owning a niche, which I do
Yeah.
in this format. And I want to continue to maximize what that can be. And
Mhm.
then as I go into producing more in this space and making original stories, like the one that I'm getting ready to shoot on the 19th, which will be the first true action adventure vertical, kind of modeled after Mission Impossible and The Bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's going to be incredible. You know, things like that, so that I can then make the movies that I want to make. Because in the industry right now, it's becoming so much more creator focused, meaning
Mhm.
there is so much more power now in the individual to direct their own destiny.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily have to wait to be chosen and
Mm-hmm.
slotted into a project like you used to in the 90s and the early 2000s and 2010s. We have so many more platforms now and ways to build audience that didn't exist before, and that the vertical space is doing exactly what I want it to do for myself, which is proof
Yeah.
of concept as a leading man and also proof of concept of audience building. And
Mhm.
I want to parlay that into whatever other formats make sense and
Mhm.
do my own thing and kind of operate outside the traditional system.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's tough to say when that will, officially happen, where you'll be going into a theater and seeing me. I mean, it will happen, but it won't be in the way that people expect.
Got it.
Mhm.
I do know that you do have a production company, a production house.
Hmm.
So, have you actually produced any or filmed any verticals from there?
Yeah, we produced Love in the Shadows in
Okay.
association with my drama, and it's now on Drama Box as well. Uh, and this one that we're getting ready to do, Love Under Fire.
Okay.
And I think that was one of the, going back to that Philippines question, we were at a
Mhm.
premiere party one of the nights, and as I was leaving, I was taking photos with people, and a girl came up to me and she was like, I really love Love in the Shadows. And I don't think she knew necessarily that I had produced it at the time. It had just come out. Maybe she did. But in my mind, I was like, and I texted, Maurice, one of my best friends and producing partner, and I was like, that's so cool that something that we made, is loved by this person in this country that I've never even been to.
Yeah.
And that to me has always been the power of the vertical space. And what made me want to go
Yeah.
all in on it early on was the outreach from not the US, but from everywhere else in the world. And
Mhm.
business wise, I was like, you have to go all in on this, because anything that travels that fast is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that vertical space has proven that romance is a universal language and
Mhm.
can travel culture to culture. And I think the same thing will be true for action adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree
Yeah.
100%.
So the next section is we're gonna do two truths and a lie.
Currently, we're tied, so let's see.
Yeah.
Are you? Okay, okay. I didn't give myself a lot of time to think about any of these questions. So I, okay. I used to live tweet The Bachelor, and I got my first taste of fame was one of my tweets went viral on BuzzFeed. Uh, I have a heart defect. My mom used to be in the CIA.
Gosh.
Something makes me believe that your mom was in the CIA. Something about Kansas and Missouri, like they got too many headquarters there. So I'm gonna think that's true. Um, Heart defect with all the cardio and stuff you do. That could be true. You might have a heart defect. BuzzFeed. That was before my time. I'm 25. I'm sorry.
Are they
So,
gone? I guess they're
generally,
gone.
what are you
BuzzFeed is
thinking?
still around. It's still around.
I've
It's
never
not as
used it, never really heard too much
really.
about it. No. Mm-mm.
Mm.
I'm gonna say the heart defect. What
I
are you
might
gonna
say
say, Tom?
BuzzFeed. I'll say BuzzFeed.
For the lie?
Yeah.
Ye-
I want to say
Yeah,
heart, but with how active you are, I don't think so. So I'll say BuzzFeed.
The
what's
lie
a lie?
is my mom.
Oh, that was kind of obvious, but because you lived in,
I thought that was obvious. Um,
it was obvious, but I want. It's always the obvious ones that are, true. So I try. I reverse psychologize myself. Ah.
yeah, you talked yourself out of it. No, I have mitral valve prolapse, which is not like super, super uncommon, but
Okay.
it's just something that, a doctor did, diagnose me with, and that eventually
Hmm.
sometime in my life I will have to get surgically, you know, repaired. Ironically, Arnold also has it, and he had to get surgery later in his life for
Yeah.
it. I'm a huge, huge Bachelor fan, Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelorette. I haven't been able to keep up with the most current seasons, but
Hmm.
you know, I used to live tweet the show,
What was the
and
What was the
And,
tweet that got viral?
oh, well, this will date me, but it was JoJo's season,
Uh-huh.
and
wow.
there was a contestant on there named Robbie, and he was a when they would show them on the screen, it would say their name and their profession.
Hmm.
So it would say Robbie, former competitive swimmer.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have an overnight date. He wakes up, he's doing his interview. He was like, I love her, and I just want the kind of love that makes me late for work. And I tweeted, Robbie says he wants the kind of love that makes him late for work, but how can you be late for formerly competitive swimming? And at the time, uh, my partner at the time was like, I mean, that's kind of funny, but not really. And then it just started blowing up on Twitter, and I was like, look at that.
Hey.
And
Wow.
yeah, to the
In your
point where he
face.
had to the point where Robbie had to respond and say that, yes, he's a former competitive swimmer, but that he currently sells above ground pools.
Mm,
Okay.
that is
Hate
funny.
that guy.
Wow.
And and obviously the CIA one was a big lie. Very good. You pulled off a Casey right there. You sure did.
Got
So
him.
still on 1-1. Casey won.
Got him. So you said you
Yeah.
usually do lose that with
We
your
haven't
other.
lost yet. No,
Oh, you
this
haven't
and
lost.
both of us have lost. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I got one and he got one. From two different people. Like I got one from one person,
We
he
just
got
started
one
this
from
three
yeah.
interviews ago. It wasn't something we
Yeah,
originally
so it's
planned.
fairly new.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So the next segment is going to be the rapid fire round. So I'm just going to
Great.
start.
Let's go.
Let's answer. If you want to pass, just say pass. But I can
Okay.
make it spicy for you
Let's do
whenever
it.
you're ready.
I'm ready.
2.5 minutes on the timer. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Try something new or stick to something that you know.
Stick to something that I know.
PDA, yay or nay?
Yay.
Make the first move or wait to be asked.
Mm. I want to make the first move. I usually don't, but then I end up doing it. And she wonders why I didn't do it earlier.
Hashtag awkward. Play hard
Yeah.
to get or be straightforward.
I'm straightforward.
Chemistry, instant spark or slow burn.
Mm. Instant spark.
Flirt in person or online.
Uh, a friend of mine says I'm the biggest flirt she's ever met, so I guess I do it in person.
Okay. Send a love song or send a sexy playlist.
Sexy playlist.
Flirty text or flirty emoji.
I'm an emoji guy.
Okay. Scripted flirting or spontaneous charm?
Spontaneous charm.
Okay. This is gonna get me canceled. Flirt with a co-star or a fan?
I don't discriminate.
You don't discriminate? Okay. I'll take it as both. On-screen chemistry or off-screen friendship?
What's for your friendship?
Okay. Keep it mysterious or be an open book?
Mysterious.
I like that. Casual date or fancy night out?
Casual date.
Sweet talk or subtle tease?
Subtlety.
Sleep naked or in PJs?
Naked.
Subtle innuendo or bold suggestion?
Bold suggestion.
Okay. Keep a secret or spill the tea?
My mom is a huge gossip, and unfortunately, I've just picked that up.
You're spilling the tea.
Don't
Late
tell me anything at all.
we won't. Late night shoot or early morning call?
Early morning. I'm a 5 a.m. guy.
Okay. Flirt with eyes or with words?
Words.
Okay, I already asked that. First dinner date or first date drinks? Dinner. Okay. Last
Yeah.
question. Timer went off, but last question. Boxes or briefs?
Briefs.
Okay, perfect.
Gotta keep it tight.
Yeah.
By the way, I did not know any of these questions.
I did not tell any of these questions to Jennifer. So it's like she's like, oh my god.
Amazing.
None of the other
That's
ones have
awesome.
been released. So compared to them, yours was pretty spicy.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad.
So
I mean, the
Kasey,
real answer to that last question is neither.
Okay.
okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
I only wear underwear to
Commando.
set just because sometimes, when we change, it's not like totally
Yeah.
private depending on the scenario. But like at home, like right now, or just doing whatever, nothing.
Okay. Thank you
Well,
for that. Thank you very much. You guys heard it, TMZ. Now, Kasey, I want to open the floor to you to ask us any questions if you have any.
Oh, well, I would like to know in terms of types of vertical stories that you do want to see, now that I'm planning out, some of the original concepts, is there anything that you're like, oh wow, I wish they did something like this? I'd be curious to know.
Well, we're kind of bored of seeing the same storyline being retold 5 different times with little changes. So new storylines, even if it's something that's already out, like you copying, pasting a classic Hollywood movie into a vertical style, that would be something fun or something new,
Nice.
So I personally am working on a script myself.
Nice.
And it's a crazy script. It's like one of those scripts where it like fucks with your mind. You're like, oh my god, so did that not happen? So wait, what was the meaning of this? There's like 5 or 6 of them, and it's just, it really fucks with your mind. So I'm working on that.
Nice. Good. You
Yeah.
should. All the platforms need scripts.
Yes, they do. So that's something I'm working on the side.
Beautiful. So you want to see more thriller?
Thriller, mystery, horror, not so horror, revenge, that kind of stuff. Like payback, because life's a bitch. Karma's a bitch, so.
Yeah.
Why not put it in
Yeah. Good. Keep going.
Thank you.
I want to see more reverse age gap. I am so tired of seeing the older guy and the younger girl. Let's get some older women and some younger men. They're slowly, and when I say older women, I'm not talking about one second passes young. Like they've had a couple of the reverse age gap, like they've had a couple of them, but like the women are like still young themselves, and it's like, wait. So,
Yeah, we're talking
yeah.
about like definitely like in their 40s, right? Or
Yes,
50s.
yes,
Um,
yes.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, I've seen one story like that that I really liked
mhm,
on my drama that I thought they did very well. But yes, I would love to
Yeah.
see, you know, I'm down for that.
yeah,
We get a
and
cougar, Kasey.
Yeah, come on, come
let
on.
us get the cougars out here. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's just
put him
because
in there.
it's just so like kind of like a double standard, I guess, in a
It
way for
is
like females. It seems
very
like it's
taboo
okay for
too.
like
I'd
yeah,
agree.
very taboo.
Yeah.
But I bet I like that verticals are slow. They're starting. There've been a couple out there that have that they've released, but yeah, let's get some more out
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. You guys did an amazing job with your questions, and
there.
that was actually a lot of
So
fun.
made you think.
So
I hope the rapid fire didn't make you feel too uncomfortable.
no, no. I mean, I haven't done one in a while, but sometimes I do hold those like anonymous Q&As, and
Yeah.
I've been
Mhm.
asked the full range, and you just got to play into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, I'm
it's all
glad
fun
you
and games.
participated. It is. It is. So thank you very much to all the viewers who are watching right now. If you made it to the end, give yourself a pat on the back. And, Kasey, thank you so much for coming on.
Mhm.
We actually did not think we would be able to back you. So thank you so much. It means a lot. And I will be
No,
linking all of your socials, IMDb, everything in the description box below so that all the viewers can go explore you in full range in action. And congratulations.
come explore me.
Yes, go explore him. Go to the Esser side
Yeah.
of the world.
Ah,
So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. And to the rest of you, thank you very much for making it towards the end of this video. And until next time, peace.